Board Game Hangover's top 10 games of 2020. Over the 2020, we played a lot of games, and 10 of them were better than the others. Plus, obviously, every board game channel is mandatory to do such a video, otherwise you get eliminated from the Board Game Video Reviewers Association. I'm kidding, there's no such thing, I think. Number 10 is New York Zoo. New York Zoo is a polyomino tile-laying game. In this game, each player gets a board that is his zoo, and he needs to fill out with animal enclosures and attractions. First player to do it wins the game immediately. So in a way, it's a race game. Why is this really good and why I really liked it? Because it's simple, it's fast, and it looks gorgeous, and it plays well with kids and with grown-ups. Number 10, New York Zoo. Number 9 is Number 9, Glenmore Chronicles 2. Okay, here's a caveat. This kind of came out at the end of 2019. Close enough for me to count it as 2020 game. I like the first one, but the second one makes you want to come back for it with more stuff, new mini expansions, the Chronicles, and the components are just amazing. So what you do in this game, you're building your Scottish Highland area with different kind of tiles, getting resources, and this game has this unique that I haven't seen in many games track where the last player goes. So if, for example, you move your piece, take a tile, and if you're still last in line, you get to go again. But you can move as far as you want, but obviously the trade-off is if you move too far ahead to get that one tile you want, it's going to be a long time until you get another turn. The game is quite simple, but still strategic enough for gamers to like it just as non-gamers. So number 9, Glenmore 2 Chronicles. Number 8 is The Crew. I mean, we've talked a lot about The Crew on this channel. Probably gonna talk some more in the future. The Crew is just one of the biggest surprises of the year. It's a simple trick-taking game, co-op trick-taking game, where players have to get rid of the cards, plus take certain tricks. For example, if I have the task to take a trick with the green 8, I have to do it, otherwise we lose the game. There are 50 different missions that change the rules in one or another way. So it's very unique, just really good. Or how we said it, must-have game. So number 8, The Crew. We would appreciate if you could take your time to subscribe to our channel and like this video. It gives us incentive to keep going because we see the feedback from you guys that you like the content we're doing, and it helps us a lot in the future as well as it helps us now. Thank you. Number 7, Micro Macro Crime City. This is definitely the most unique and original game of the year that we played. Well, basically this is Find Waldo, the board game. You have this big board of different drawings all over the place, and it's just not one picture. It's a series of motions. You can follow one person going from here, then going slowly there, turning to the and it's just not one picture, it's a series of events where you can follow one guy walking down the street, then turning to left, getting into a car. And what you do in this game is you're trying to solve crimes. Crimes are starting from very simple, who stole that guy's hat, to more complex ones that I don't want to spoil for you. It works well for everyone, and because of this uniqueness, I feel that even gamers would enjoy this quite a bit. Even if it looks like a simple family game, just give it a go. Definitely the most unique game of the year. Micro Macro City, number 7. Number 6, Infinity Gauntlet, the love letter card game. It just feels so weird to say love letter in the same sentence as Infinity Gauntlet. This is a spin-off sequel game from Love Letter, and Love Letter is a game we do really like on this channel. The theme of that game doesn't really fit the gameplay and what you're trying to do in that game, but this fixes it. I mean, this makes it a better game. It still has the same thing where you draw a card, play a card, and try to guess what somebody else has in their hand, but here one player plays the Thanos and the other players play the heroes. Either the Thanos or the heroes will win. It's really good. Really, really good game. If you like Love Letter, or even if you like superheroes or simple card games, just give it a go. It's really good. Infinity Gauntlet, number 6. Number 5, Imperial Struggle. This definitely is the heaviest game, not just physically, but rules-wise on the list. This is a very heavy Euro game with a very good historical theme. One player takes the role of French and the other player takes the role of British, and you're trying to control the more areas and markets over the globe. It's a long game. It takes around 3 hours to play a single session. It's a 2-player game. It is quite rules heavy with small details that even first time we played, we messed some rules up. So this is something you really need to get into. But if you do, I feel that it's a very satisfying experience. So number 5, Imperial Struggle. Number 4, Project Elite. Project Elite is a real-time cooperative miniatures game where players land on a planet, they have a goal to accomplish, and they need to accomplish it before the time runs out and get back on the ship and get away. Why is this a real-time game? Players at the same time roll dice to do certain actions, to move, to shoot, and you can reroll your dice as many times as you want. But each time you roll the red symbol, you have to move the alien. And that is always what adds pressure, because if at least one alien makes it to your ship, you lose. If aliens kill one of you, you lose. Obviously, if the time runs out, you lose as well. It's just very, very involved game. Even though it looks heavy and complex, this is something you could probably pull out at the end of the game night and everyone would just, be energized playing this. The rules are not too complex to get into. It's full of action. So Project Elite, number 4. Number 3, Project L. Yes, this is kind of back-to-back project kind of game situation. Anyway, this is the most elegant game of the year. Project L, each player starts off with just 2 small pieces, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to fill out cards, and these cards are these double layered ones where you could fit pieces into them. It's a very simple game. On your turn, you can do a couple of actions. You can either take new pieces, you can upgrade pieces, or you can put the pieces into the card itself. And once the card is complete, you either get points, if they do have points on them, or always you get a new piece. Putting those pieces in and planning out which pieces you need and putting them into your cards just feels very satisfying. It's a very tactile, satisfying game with simple rules that most anyone can enjoy. And the visual appeal is also very cool. Project L, our number 3. Number 2 is probably the most controversial game on this list for Board Game Hangover, for me, for a lot of people. Why is this controversial? First of all, they don't advertise that you need to put the minis together yourself when you buy the game. You have to actually cut them out and glue them together. I mean, it's something that Wayland-Yutani would do, not a normal board game publisher. But nevertheless, they did it. For a lot of people who never done it and didn't know that it needs to be done, that probably was an unpleasant surprise. The game itself feels maybe a little bit rushed because there are a lot of ambiguities in the rules or some things that need to be looked up on internet. I spend a lot of hours every day on Board Game Geek, don't tell my wife, and I found all the problems that I had or questions solved easily. If you've seen the second movie of Aliens, you know what it's about. You get a couple of Marines, you have to go in and do certain things on the station that is infested with aliens. You get attacked all the time. I mean, the game is sometimes very brutal. First time I played, I didn't even finish the first mission of the campaign. I died outright. But I did really enjoy this game, and if you're a huge Aliens fan, I think you would like it a lot. Also, the game introduces a unique thing that I've never seen in the games before. During the campaign, you get a deck of cards that has different weapons and bad things happening to you, and every time you have to do, let's say, a shoot action, you have to exhaust cards from that deck. Once you're done with this mission, you're not gonna get all of those cards back. The survival mechanism in the game where do I really need to shoot these 3 aliens or should I just run for it? This gives you this feeling in the movie that you just can't go out guns blazing. Why is this on my number 2 spot? Because it's very thematic, even mechanics wise and, well, obviously theme wise. The minis look amazing. Components overall are pretty good. And if you just get the base game, which is retailed at 60 euros. I feel these days when games don't come that cheap anymore with miniatures, it's still a pretty good deal even if you have to put the minis together yourself. And finally, Board Game Hangover Game of the Year, Nidavellir. This is also a big surprise. Probably the second surprise of the year right after The Crew. I actually got this only because of the good reviews that were out there. And when I read the rules and looked at components, it kind of reminded me of Splendor, and I don't know why, but when I played it, it has some similarities. But what it actually is, it's a bidding game, but a blind bidding game where each player puts down coins, and then depending on the order of value of the coins, you get to take cards for yourself. First, you're like, well, okay, any card will do fine for me. But the more you go into the game, the more specific cards you need. And the other players see that you need them, and they might put a bigger coin just to take away your card. That would give you a lot of points. Plus, the mechanic about upgrading your coins is also very unique and feels interesting when you play. The artwork is amazing. The artwork, the gameplay, the uniqueness just hits all the points in a good game you would be looking for. Plays good with 2 players, but it plays better with 3 and 4, mostly because of the interaction and trying to get the cards you need. Nidavellir, a big surprise and a great game on all fronts. Game of the year for Board Game Hangover. Obviously, there are more games out there that we didn't play, and some of the games that we played just didn't make the list. For example, Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, that we felt is too similar to original Gloomhaven. And yes, we know we put Glenmore 2 in here, but we just felt it's essentially the same game, just smaller and more accessible. But please mention what games you have on your list and we should play, or which of these games you think shouldn't be on a top 10 list of the year at all. Thank you for watching, and we publish new videos every week. To not miss any of those, subscribe now.